You are looking at a guy named Marc Casado. He is seen as Barcelona's Joshua Kimmich. Moreover, this lad has already proven to be another gem from La Masia Academy, surprising Hansi Flick in the summer preseason tour. But what exactly can Casado do? How did Marc, while being a player and not a manager, get the tactics geek name? Who is responsible for his rise? What are his similarities with Kimmich? And how serious are Barcelona's plans for him? Get ready to get to know this talented guy from all sides. Marc Casado is a 20-year-old Barcelona midfielder and a graduate of La Masia. He joined the U14 squad and gradually rose to the U19 team. At the youth level, he performed side by side with talents such as Fermin Lopez, Alejandro Balde and Xavi Simons right from an early age. Casado was appointed as captain of multiple youth teams in the last 2 years. He has been wearing the armband while playing for Barcelona Athletic, Barca's reserve team. Throughout his 2 campaigns there, Marc has managed to make 66 appearances, 64 of which featured him as a starter. The guy made his first team debut in the 2022-23 campaign during the Champions League battle against Victoria Pilsen. Since then, he has made 4 more appearances for the senior team. Basically, Casado operates as a defensive midfielder who is also capable of taking the right-back position. He is known for his versatility, energy and reliability in terms of ball possession. Marc controls the ball well, dictates the game's pace and possesses superb vision. Casado's most prominent skill lies in his ability to escape pressing when surrounded by more than one opponent. He efficiently uses his body, sharply changing the direction of his movements. This helps Marc a lot during build-ups. When possessing the ball, Casado is more than willing to take on the role of lone pivot. He scans the pitch a lot, quickly makes the right decisions and does a great job of protecting the ball from the opposition. At the same time, the youngster is also very durable. He demonstrated this in the US preseason tour with the first team, where he was called up by Hansi Flick. Casado played 74 minutes against Manchester City, 77 minutes of the Clásico with Real Madrid and the full 90 minutes against AC Milan. In total, 241 minutes out of 270 available, more than any other Barcelona performer had at the tour. Throughout these 3 clashes, Marc has been a game changer in every possible way. Against Man City, he elegantly assisted the striker Pau Victor. While facing AC Milan, he made 5 key passes, the best result of any player on the pitch. Besides, in 3 US matches, Casado constantly hit 90% pass accuracy, created 2 big chances, won 9 duels, made 4 tackles, blocked 2 shots, and completed 10 accurate long balls out of 12. Whatever component of the game there is, be sure that this lad is amazing at it. But you would expect it if you knew this one interesting fact about Casado. He is obsessed with studying the #1 game tactics. The La Masia talent is interested in it as much as the coaches are. Marc enjoys sitting in theory classes for hours on end and analyzing his own mistakes. And you doesn't have to look far for examples to prove that. One of the coaches who worked with Casado at Barca was Carles Martínez Novell, who is now the boss of French side Toulouse. In video sessions ahead of matches, Casado and Carles used to discuss various tactical details regarding rivals' pressing and ball control. As Relevo has found out, some of Marc's youth squad teammates would literally fall asleep during these sessions and never understood how Casado could be so interested in listening to such complicated info. They even nicknamed him a tactics geek in the dressing room. Casado indeed showed the greatest curiosity to everything the coaches taught, but it was precisely because of this that he developed more rapidly than many of his clubmates. Everyone within the Catalans camp knows that Marc has the true Barcelona DNA and is a leader by nature, with whom you always wish to work together. Among other things, Casado is always the first to arrive at training and the last to leave. He doesn't stop working in the gym and practices recovery procedures even on weekends, doing them at home. Marc keeps up with everything his coaches tell him and supports every single partner he shares the pitch with. Interestingly enough, former Barcelona and Spanish national team midfielder Thiago Alcantara, who joined Hansi Flick's coaching staff, has personally taken up Casado's training. He provided a lot of instructions to Marc during the preseason meetings, and of course, under the guidance of such a professional player, Casado will improve even more. Thiago Alcantara, he helps us a lot with many things. Not just the midfielders, everyone, but he tries to help the midfielders make those passes he gave, Marc told the journalist after the battle against Manchester City. Thus, we should keep in mind that Marc Casado is potentially the second Thiago Alcantara for Barcelona. However, there is a second major comparison that revolves around this prospect. Casado has recently been called the Joshua Kimmich of Barcelona. It seems that Flick really believes in it and is no longer even trying to poach his former Bayern Munich man to Camp Nou. All his faith is now focused on Marc. As you may guess, Casado and Kimmich share a common playing profile. They are both capable of mixing the positions of defensive midfielder and right back. They are both tough, selfless and hot-tempered. Naturally, if we are being objective, Marc cannot be placed above Joshua yet. But in the future, given the same strengths, he can actually reach the German's level. Again, Flick is aware of it, paying a lot of attention to Casado in training sessions and during matches. You can tell that they share a highly professional relationship. Marc receives a lot of tactical advice from the head coach and tries to execute every single instruction. That said, comparisons with Kimmich flatter Casado, and he once admitted that in the Barcelona dressing room, the whole story has already been run as a joke. Comparisons between me and Kimmich, they tell me that physically I look a bit alike. Last season I ended up playing as a fullback and center half, which in the end is what he does. There's a joke going on in the dressing room. The humor on this topic is especially forced by Barca left-back Alejandro Balde. In the comments to Casado's posts on Instagram, he occasionally calls Marc Joshua and gets a lot of likes from the fans. Perhaps the situation is already getting a little out of hand, and the constant analogies with Kimmich will add unnecessary pressure on the talented young man. Still, it is an indisputable fact that Barcelona have very huge plans for Marc. According to the latest reports from the Catalan newspaper Sport, Flick decided to trust Casado in the midfield instead of renewing Sergi Roberto's contract. A pretty serious move to trust Marc instead of the club's veteran. What's more, Barcelona's confidence in Casado can be confirmed by the renewal of his contract. At the end of June, the Blaugrana sealed a new deal with the footballer, which lasts until 2028. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano wrote that this is more than just a signal of faith towards Marc's progress. Barcelona seriously trusts him to become a key player for the squad in the future. And who could say it doesn't make sense? Amidst Barca's tireless efforts to nurture new football talent in La Masia, the gut feeling about Marc Casado must be the right one. Lamine Yamal, Pau Cubarsí, Fermín López, they are just the first discoveries made at Blaugrana over the past year. The best is yet to come. Marc Casado's chances of ending up on the same podium as them must be considered very high. Having put his faith in Casado, Flick both saves money on chasing Kimmich and shows that Barca are still ready to face Real Madrid in the race for La Liga gold medals. Okay, this squad doesn't have its Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., but it does have its own academy power. And if no one has told you this yet, apart from Marc Casado, Barcelona are raising a 17-year-old maestro who is expected to make a better impact than Sergio Busquets himself. Click on the video down below to get to know who Marc Bernal is. We promise you that his skills will surprise you as much as our story about Casado. Thank you all, and we'll see you soon.